Hi guys, welcome back to OC Aviary. Now in today's video we're going to look around at a few of the birds that we've bred this year and how the molt's looking for some of the adult birds. I mean, mainly a lot of the youngsters have now completely finished the molt, other than those really late last rounders such as the Norwich cross Fife youngsters that we've got. We've got a couple of late bred greenies as well, but as it goes for the red poles, they're all done. Most of the adult birds are finished as well. We've got a Goldie Mule that's on the way to being finished. It's colouring up nicely now, but we'll have to look at that in a few episodes' time. So we're going to be talking about plans as well for what's going on next year, and it's always looking forward to the next year for how you're going to prepare for it in terms of flights, so sort of spacement, how many birds are you gonna have for next year, and you need to make sure you leave plenty of room for youngsters, and actually what birds are going to be staying from this year and what birds will be going. So we'll look at a few of the birds that will be staying, and then I will have some birds that you will see later on in this video which will be going to Stafford to be sold. And I don't have a table at Stafford, so I'll just be literally walking around at Stafford, but I will be taking reserves on those birds. So hopefully follow me on Facebook, because they're going to be on Facebook. It is a first come first served basis, but we'll get to that in a little while. So what does the landscape look like for next year? Well, with how things have performed this year, we've had a great year with red poles and we've had a great year with green finches. We've bred quite a few canaries as well in new colours and the fifes. However, everything else, we've bred a single bullfinch hen, we've bred a goldfinch mule, but we didn't breed any siskins. Sadly, the siskins just went downhill. And I think that was more due to, well, one pair was due to the parenting experience. A hen that was bred last year and she just never reared youngsters, and I found that had happened before with me when I've bred siskins, is that at least in the first year they don't tend to produce much, or if they have, they've really took a round to make the mistakes. And then the second round has been the one that's actually worked, and we've got chicks to the sticks. So we had that with the siskins, and it just didn't go well. We had some youngsters in the nest and they made it to about 10 days old, and the hen come off the nest because of a firework or something, and anyway we lost them. So we've got two pairs of siskins, and to be honest with you, after how they've performed this year in terms of not really getting the numbers and what have you, is I'm just not too keen on the siskins anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're lovely birds. I've got some great looking siskins and I think they would do well in shows, but I'm just not getting as much enjoyment out of the siskins. So I think they're going to be birds that are going to be going over the winter. They're not going to Stafford, because I am going to hold on to them as we talk through this video, and you'll understand why. So the siskins might be going, but we'll see how things progress throughout the year, and if they are, it'll probably be around December sort of time when I make that decision. So that's the siskins. We've got, well, we bred quite a few pied green finches this year, and as much as the pieds are lovely birds, I am going to be moving on all of the young pieds that we've bred this year, on the simple basis that they're just not where I want them to be to add back into my line of the really good normals. What I'm looking to do is keep the cock birds that I've got, and I'm going to use one for a hybrid, which we might talk about in a bit, but I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, because I want to be the first one to do it. And then we have another greenfinch cock, pied greenfinch cock, that will be going to a good hen we've bred from the really good pair of normals this year. So the pied greenies, and anything bred off the pied greenies this year, including the A-gate hen that we bred a normal hen, and we've bred 5 pied hens as well. They will all be going. Don't get me wrong, that the good birds, there's definitely nothing wrong with them in them terms. What I'm thinking is, will I want to breed off of that? Well, I'd rather put the pied greeny cock to a massive greeny hen than rather a smaller pied greeny hen. You know, they're not small birds, but they're not as big as the normals. So they're going to be going as well, and I'm going to hopefully be taking 3 of those to Stafford. Is the plan. So they're nice enough birds, just not what I'm wanting to add into my line, just not quite at the standard I want them to be at. Red poles, no red poles will be going to Stafford for sure, definitely not going to Stafford, other than a few for a friend. But the red poles will absolutely be staying on for next year. All of the red poles, well, okay, the varieties of red poles, not all of them. I don't have room for all of them because I'm hopefully going to be picking up some red poles as well over the winter months from several different outside sources I've not yet got birds in from, which would be nice to get some fresh blood in, but also bring something else to the stud and what have you. So I'm going to be keeping a selection of them. We've got birds that are now being visually able to sex because we've been adding the carousel to the water. It's about end of the term for that after we've done it a few times, and I sort of know now what's a cock and what's a hen in there. So by the look of it, just if we look in at this cage, we've got in here 4 cinnamons, we've got 2 agates and the cobalt weird thing. The cobalt weird thing I'm quite certain is a hen. So that's going to be going to its father next year is the plan, because whatever it is I want to try and breed more of because I think it's something new. The agates, well, we've got a cock and a hen in there, so one of those is going to a friend. The other, the hen, is probably going to stay here for at least the short term. I might keep it for next year, I don't know. But then the cinnamons, we've got 4 cinnamons we've bred from our well, the granddaughters of the grandchildren of the one that won the world show, well, second in a world show a few years ago, sorry. By the look of that, we've got 1 cock and 3 hens, so there's definitely going to be a cock bird staying to go back to its mother, because what I want to do is try and preserve that quality as much as possible. And the 3 hens I'm not 100% decided on yet, but at least one of those will be staying. The hens to put to something else, whether that be some split cock bird or maybe, I don't know, a cobalt or something like that. But the cinnamons are looking great and they're looking lovely birds as well. So that's our cinnamons, but those red poles. As it goes for the normals and the other cobalts, they're looking good, but not great for visually sexing them at the moment. But it should come round quite soon. So the red poles will be staying, most of them anyway. There will be a few going throughout the year, and then it depends on how many get in as to how many can stay. So for next year, we're going to be looking at 8 pairs of red poles. We're going to do 6 in here and 2 in here, leaving the bottom 2 cages free for something else, which we're going to talk about. Then the greenies, just normal greenies. We're going to be having 5 pairs of green finches next year, and the idea of building the new flights, you know, the ones that are coated in plastic, the idea of building those was as a green finch breeding place, and that is what it's going to be. So next year we're going to be going for 5 pairs of green finches. So we have bred quite a few this year off of some normals. We have got to really get an outcross in, probably an outcross cockbird, I believe, or I might try and get an outcross hen. We'll see, maybe get an outcross pair and put them across to different birds, but there will be quite some competition for them to have to stay. So we will be keeping the main cockbird who produced all those youngsters, and we'll put him to one of his daughters, one of the best ones, so hopefully we can preserve that type and get the best out of him and get birds that are closely related to him, which will basically visually show him more. And we've bred some fantastic cockbirds off of him this year, and the hens are good as well, so they'll probably be staying. So it's to be 5 pairs of greenies. We're going to have a pied cockbird in there with a decent normal hen, and then we'll have 4 normal greenie cocks with 5 normal greenie hens, and we'll go from there with that. And it'll be good to see what we end up with once they've all completely finished the molt, and that includes some of the younger ones, the later bred ones, and we'll just have to see what comes out there, and hopefully, I mean, it's looking good already. I'm hoping some really decent birds will be available, you know, coming up for sale in the winter months, once I've gone through the selection process, took them to shows, seen how they place and what, and we've got to put some weight on them anyway. At the moment they're all in flights, they've all got no weight on them, and they're looking right lumps, so I think it'll be to be interesting to see how they develop as we go into the winter, and they get some real size put on them as we start to feed them for the shows, as we basically change the diet. So that'd be 5 pairs of greenies, so 8 pairs of red poles, 5 pairs of green finches. We are going to be keeping canaries next year. Mainly, obviously, there is the idea of how I could produce, you know, my own stud of them, really. I mean, I'm not that fond, I'm not that bothered about showing canaries. That's just me. I'd rather show the natives, to be honest with you. That's hard enough as it is, never mind doing it with canaries as well as, and obviously with the volume as well. So we're probably going to be looking at 4 pairs of new colours or large feeders next year, and they're going to be going in our wire cages. We've got a few pairs of dimorphics. I've actually gone through and sorted some canaries today as to what's staying for at least the next selection process. So you can see here we've got a pair of Fifes, we've got 2 pairs of Norwich, we've got 2 pairs of yellow dimorphics, and a pair of red-eyed satinettes. So we're going to see how we get on there. The Norwich, well, we might be doing some Norwich if I can get some good quality birds in, but as it goes for the Norwich I've got at the moment, they're all right, but they're not the quality which I would like. So I might see if I can get some in, you know, some decent pairs in, maybe get a pair in to do some mules with. And then there's that, and then we've got our bottom cages in here, which we bred the Fifes in this year. The plan is we're going to get some smaller pairs of canaries to feed, such as red poles and maybe smaller mules and hybrids. So my idea with that is I'm hopefully getting some Razor canaries off a good friend. We're going to get 3 pairs of Razors, or I might pick up a pair or 2 at Stafford, and we'll just go from there and get some Razors going, and just a small sort of Razors, literally 3 pairs of them, and we'll have those. We'll breed some off them, and we'll also use them as feeders, because I think they'd be ideal with the red poles. I won't be doing a red pole mule this year, I don't think, but I would like to try maybe in the future. Maybe something like a cinnamon Razor hen with a cinnamon red pole cock, and try and get a cinnamon miniature mule out. It'd just be interesting to see what it comes out like, to be honest. With the size of the Razors anyway, they are very small canaries when you put them next to pretty much any other type of canary. So that'll be our canaries next year. It'll be 7 pairs, 4 new colour, 3 Razor probably. We might keep a pair of Fifes, I don't know. And as it goes for Norwich, we'll have to see what I can get, you know, what comes available throughout the year, whether we are going to keep any Norwich or not. So then that's mainly our purebreds, and I do have a few ideas for birds that I'm hoping to get in, but I can't confirm. I'm hoping to get a pair of Twites or a Twite cock or something. I love the Twites anyway, they're lovely birds. So possibly a pair of Twites will be coming in. The Siberian Goldies will be going out. We're not keeping the Siberian Goldies anymore. I just had a bit of a nightmare with them this year. Not really the birds' fault, more of my fault. I should have offered more live food, I believe, to really get the Goldie hens feeding the youngsters better, which they just tended to fail at. I did obviously offer loads of egg food, but I do think they probably have benefited from some more live food rather than the egg food. So the Siberian Goldies will be going this year, just because I've got other things I want to bring in. And then I've got a good friend, hopefully, I spoke to him a few times now, and he's got some native bullies, which all need new homes. So hopefully all of them are coming to me. Now, we don't know exact numbers yet, but it's looking like 2 cocks and 3 hens, hopefully. So what I'll be doing is probably running a pair of native bullies next year, and we'll have to get an outcross cock in because they are all siblings. But then we'll have 2 native bully hens that are spare. And when I say spare, that doesn't mean they're available to buy. That means they're going to go with something that's not a bully cock. So we're hopefully going to be doing 2 native bully hybrids or mules next year. And my ideas for that are we're going to be doing hopefully a red poll bully. I've bred some nice normal looking red polls, so we're going to get a red poll cock hopefully to go with the bully hens. And then the other I'm not sure about. I might try and get a Norwich cock in and do try and do a native bully mule. I could try Goldfinch and try and do Goldie Bully, but I'd rather try something else. And we will be keeping a single crossbill cock back. So the 3 crossbills are going at the end of this year some point, but we will be keeping one of them, and that one might end up going with a native bully hen. We try crossbill bully, but if not, then the crossbill cock will be going to a Norwich that I've already got, and I'm hoping to try a crossbill mule. So as it goes for standing next year, we're going to be doing probably 2 mule pairs. We'll probably try Goldie Mule again, and we'll be trying possibly crossbill mule, and then we'll be trying hopefully 3 bully hybrids. So we've got a Siberian Bully Hen as well that we bred this year. The plan for that bird is that it's going to be going with a greenfinch cock who we've bred this year, and obviously it's grown up with greenies anyway, so I'm hoping it'll be quite accustomed to the greenies and believe it's a greenie itself. So we're going to be doing getting the biggest greenie cock I can to put to the Siberian Bully Hen, and hopefully doing quite a big greenie bully hybrid, which will be nice. So that's one of them that's sort of already set in my head, is that I'm doing that. But yeah, like I said before, we'll be doing something native Goldie cock to a Norwich hen probably, and then we'll have 2 bully hens hopefully, which will we can do something with. I might try and do red poll bully then and crossbill bully, or I might try red poll bully and canary bully. So we'll see what happens there, but it should be really good fun next year with our mules and hybrids. We'll be trying a lot of bullfinch things, and just trying something different that I've not tried before. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you guys. So let's talk about the birds that will be going for Stafford. So sadly, the Yorkshire British Bird Mule and Hybrid Club won't be doing a show this year at Stafford, so we won't be able to take our natives to show. But obviously, Stafford is going to be hopefully very good. It'll be great to see people after 2 years, and there'll be all sorts of other exhibitions on: zebra finches, colour canaries, I think 5 Norwich, all sorts of different canaries. I think there's budgies as well. So there'll be a big exhibition on, but sadly no native birds in it. But it doesn't mean that natives won't be for sale at Stafford, because they will. So the birds that I will be having available to reserve for Stafford, and that'll be me taking them, and I will meet you outside one of the halls or something, and we will sort the bird out from there, because I don't believe I can take it into the building, or if I can, then we can do it in there. I will be taking 3 pied greenfinch hens, so we'll have 3 quick videos of those up on here. They will be on Facebook, so first come first served basis. Then we have 2 yellow dimorphic cocks, 2021 birds. The greenies are 2021 as well, so I've bred those yellow dimorphics this year. So we've got 2 cock birds going there, and we'll have a it's base yellow dimorphic, but I do believe it's probably a mixed breed yellow dimorphic new colour going to Stafford as well, which is a 2020 bird. So we'll have those definitely going to Stafford. There may be another pair of something which I'm working on at the moment to see if, well, I want them to finish the molt and be in good condition before I go offering them for sale, because the last thing I want is anyone getting a bird that they're not happy with. And also want to make sure that the birds are in the best condition that they can be, ready to travel the journey to Stafford, and then and so forth, because I want to make sure everyone's happy with the birds that they had off me. I don't want to be doing it, don't want to be selling any bird that's not 100%. So there's something else that might come up, but you'll have to keep your eye on our Facebook page for that. So So that just gives you a bit of an overview for what's expecting next year in terms of mules, hybrids, and the birds that we're going to be breeding straight. And obviously, as you can see, I am cutting down species to a degree, which I'm breeding straight. And the reason being is that I want to focus more on, 2 or 3 varieties for exhibition rather than quite a few. So that's why we'll be doing a lot of focus on red polls and a lot of focus on greenies. That they do tend to do quite well at shows anyway, and I just really enjoy keeping them. And then as it goes for other mules and hybrids, we will be trying a few of those as well. Some that might not be for exhibition, just to try and do it, and others that will be most definitely to take to the shows. So that's a bit of an overview of what you can expect through the winter months and into next year's breeding season. There should be plenty to watch on the channel as well. We've got a couple of bird room tours which will be coming out. I'm probably going to do one every 2 weeks, so there'll be one for now, one every 2 weeks for the next 8 weeks, I think, because we've got 4 filmed, so it's just a case of getting them done. That's Alan Hoary for the natives, we've got Richard Jones for the Norwich, we've got Jack Lloyd for the natives, and Mark Jones for the natives. And we're going to take a look around their setups and a couple of their birds that they've got, and just basically have a look at those. And obviously these birds are in the molt at the time of visiting, so maybe we'll visit later on in the year, but we'll be hopefully doing a couple of bird room visits as well, and just looking at different people's stock and the quality of their birds. And we'll do some filming at the shows as well. I'm planning on filming an episode of the Stafford show there, and I'll do a few things with people hopefully, and we'll get a good video out of that. So there'll be plenty to see on the channel this year, and all sorts of different things going on. And I've got some plans in the works for other things to do for you guys, which hopefully you'll like and you'll enjoy. So anyway guys, if you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.